Yo, 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 yo. I don't know what the what the hell is going on. My events is gone. What? What is going on here? Let me see if this joint can be heard though. What is going on? Okay, there we go. Yo. Yeah, hold up, yo, hold up. Yo, what is good, guys, man? I don't know what the hell happened, bruh. YouTube was like saying I lost connection to server. Uh, my Streamlabs event thing is not popping up. Yo, I don't know what's going on out here, yo. This is just crazy. Yo, I'm over here streaming. I'm listening to I listen to my man David Gaines and his Twitter spaces, what it's called. And all of a sudden, yo, everything just went crazy. Hold on, let me see if I can try to get this this event thing back up. I don't know how that went away. Hey yo, my junk just went away like what's going on, man? Hold on, guys, we're gonna get the stream back up because Sephiroth and my man Cloud is the floating right now. Hold up. Yo, I don't know what the hell happened, yo. It was like, yo, your stream key is bad. You lost connection to server. Now, let me see if it actually pops back up now. I don't know. Maybe we got to create a new one. We'll let it rock for now. But at the end of the day, let me see if certain things can be shown. All right, that's good. All right, guys, my bad, man. I don't know what happened when it came to YouTube. It was just going wonky and everything. So at the end of the day, we're back up. Even though some of my stuff is just gone. I don't know. I don't know why. But we're gonna push through, man. We'll fix it when we come back. But yeah, man. Welcome to another edition of Final Fantasy VII Remake News number 19. You know, where we have these streams where we just talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Even though in this stream we're gonna pump a little bit of like Final Fantasy 16 stuff in there. But it's not gonna be as long as what I'm gonna talk about with 7 Remake. But yeah, we got some good news for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and hopefully you guys have played Final Fantasy VII Remake already, where you even tried the Integrate update with the PS5 and Intermission DLC. I was gonna have like the ending of the DLC being played, but I ended up not doing it because I would have feel bad because maybe a lot of people haven't played the DLC yet, which I don't know how. Even if you follow this channel, I don't know how you would not play the DLC yet, but I was gonna feel bad playing the DLC and pretty much, you know, spoiling it for people that's happening. Even though there's gonna be spoilers in this anyway. You know, I still don't want to show off everything there. You know what I mean? I got a heart. But we still gonna have some spoilers here when it comes to you know, talking about the news that's happening today. But overall, man, just want to say thank you everyone that's been subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate it. Yo, shout out to everyone that's been subscribing to What's Up PlayStation podcast as well, as we hit our 1K goal over there at that channel. So yeah, man, it felt good hitting that goal, and we appreciate all the support that we're getting. We're almost at 3K subscribers here on this channel, so hopefully we can hit that goal as well. I think we're about like 200 and something away from 3K subscribers, so hopefully we'll hit that goal one of these days. But it is what it is with that. But yeah, man, like I said, this stream right here, we're gonna be talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake and some of the stuff that, you know, some of the producers and directors has been talking about when it comes to part 2 of the remake. And if you guys been watching this channel, man, some of these things I've been saying, and especially when Intermission was announced, and some of the gameplay mechanics that we broke down here in the previous Final Fantasy VII Remake news videos, that, you know, I was saying that they're going to implement a lot of this stuff into part 2 for sure. Like one thing I feel like they're going to really implement is the fact of the synergy system. Like, you can sync with your partner like you can do with Sonon. I think that was kind of dope in Intermission. I feel like that was kind of dope. And some of the aerial combat, it just felt really fluid when you played as Yuffie. So I can see some of the melee combat being upgraded as well when it comes to part 2. But I'm like a nostalgia nut. I'm like a Final Fantasy VII purist as well. Even though there's a lot of changes that happened in the remake, I felt like it was a good change where it still kept those purists in heart, fans happy when it came to, you know, 7 Remake and when it comes to Intermission. But hearing some of the news that some of the directors has been talking about, like hearing their quotes and stuff like that, made me really excited and happy even more for part 2 of 7 Remake. And you know, when you played Intermission, the Yuffie DLC, and you got to the end and you see that ending cutscene, it just slapped you with nostalgia, man. You know, just having that simple little walk, you know what I mean, there, and showing off. Actually, they showed off Calm in the background as well, man. You seen how they're also remaking Calm, which, you know, which is like a little town, not too little like other towns like in Final Fantasy VII, but it was pretty small, you know. And the scene that, I was just like, yo, man, I can't wait for part 2. And a lot of things that Yoshinori Kitase been saying, you know, them having the assets already there is going to help, you know, speed up the development process for part 2. That's why I keep telling a lot of people I don't think part 2 is that far away. Like everybody's expecting. Some people saying like 2023 and all that stuff. I don't think it's that far away, to be honest with you. But you're right. I'm coming right back, guys. 1 second. Yo, Chris, what's good, man? Yo, my bad, guys. I had to get my green tea. I forgot it was on the kettle. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Yeah, I'm super excited for part 2 with all the stuff that they've been saying. We're gonna go over some of the comments that some of the directors and developers have been saying as of late when it comes to part 2 and 7 Remake. And it goes in hand with a lot of things that I've been saying the lead up to part 2, because I feel like they're doing a really good job in setting expectations and setting people like their minds at ease when it comes to part 2. And these comments right here is super dope, man, because like I said, I feel like they did a great job with the remake, but I'm also like a 7 purist. Like, this is my favorite game of all time, so there's certain things and certain aspects of the game that I would like them to just keep hold, like don't really change as much, you know what I mean, when it comes to part 2, especially like when it's just much more open and you're going around all these towns. And the stuff that they've been saying kind of kept me at ease with that, man. So we're gonna go over some of these quotes here with some of these developers for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and let's start with this one here. Let's go to the IGN article. You know what I mean? Let's go to the IGN's article. Yeah, you said I have my theories when part 2 will end. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna have 3 parts, and I feel like part 2 is gonna end. I think part 2 is gonna end as soon as we get up to the northern cavern, the northern cave area, or it might end with the with Aerith's death. We'll see. But all right, let's go over to yo Guapzilla. What's good, man? Let's go over here to IGN. And I'm just going to read bits and pieces of what they've been saying here. So speaking to IGN over email, co-director Momotomu Toriyama talked about the role in intermission that the role intermission plays in the larger story. And we kind of went over this as well, leading up to intermission and speaking about intermission and what that is set to do. People, you know, some people's like, oh, why they having Yuffie DLC? Oh, why they doing this DLC? They should be doing part 2. But yo, they're setting up they setting it up, man. I was about to say they're playing chess where they're setting up the board and all that stuff, but I ain't gonna say that. But they're setting it up so you can have a cohesive story and have a proper background when it comes to some of these characters. Like, as much as I love Final Fantasy VII, you know, that game, there's a lot of things when it comes to characters we don't know of. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if you played some of the characters like back end story stuff, like if you did like some of the side missions, you would get some more character development there. But I'm pretty sure majority of people probably skipped out a lot of those things. You know what I mean? Like trying to get those ultimate weapons. I'm talking about like the casual people that just probably play Final Fantasy VII in the day and just kept it moving. Like the hardcore people, yeah, we did everything, but you know what I mean? What intermission is doing is basically setting up that meet of you meeting up with Yuffie, like the crew meeting up with Yuffie. I don't think they're gonna make it like a side thing anymore. They're gonna make it like okay, this is actually it's actually going to happen as you traverse throughout the world. Like in the original game, it was more like not like a side mission, but it was an optional thing. The way how you spoke to her, the way the prompts that you chose, decided whether Yuffie was going to come in your squad or not, you know. And then, you know, that also leads up to another, you know, branching of the story when you hit Wutai with Yuffie and all that stuff. But you know what I mean, a lot of people might have just skipped that part or whatnot, but I feel like Intermission did a great job introducing Yuffie, and you're just gonna have better character development once they meet up. You know what I mean? The DLC was the side mission for Yuffie. Yo, maybe, yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? That's a fact. Yo, one thing they should do though, because Intergrade, according to my man Nomura, Intergrade is that branch, that olive branch between PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, letting people know that the next Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be on, you know, PlayStation 5. So what I feel like they should do, especially with Intermission, is whenever part 2 comes out, you incorporate Intermission as well in there. I feel like they should do that, but we'll see. But continuing what the quote say, yo, Jemai, what's up, man? Continuing the quote on what they said here. Where did I leave off? Intermission plays the larger story, and how it sets the stage for Cloud and company to meet Yuffie in the later installment. As Cloud and company prepares to leave Midgar in the base game, so does Yuffie. Later, Cloud and his allies will end up encountering Yuffie in the expansive world outside of Midgar. So they let you know, expansive world outside of Midgar. That's why I can't wait for this joint, yo, part 2, yo. By playing both of the base game and episode Intermission, I think you'll be able to understand where they're coming from an emotional perspective. So I recommend playing through both. Yeah, and I agree. I recommend playing through both. Like, if you follow this channel, I don't know how you are missing, intermission. Like, you gotta watch that. Like I said, I was gonna play the ending, but I'm gonna fall back from that 'cause I don't want to upset people. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yo. Where's the other quote here? Here we go. This is what is exciting here for me. There are many things that we learned from the reception of Final Fantasy VII Remake since it released, but I feel that the response was especially great for the elements that we remade while being cognizant to pay homage to the source material. And I recall players' reactions were very positive. Says director Noki Hamagachi. I don't want to limit it to just the title. I am reminded that the next installment, it's of utmost importance not to damage the memories of the source material while reimagining it so it surpasses people's expectations. And this is the part where I want to talk about here. The real reason why I kind of wanted to do this stream here is because I respect quotes like this, man. I think Katase was saying this, Nomura was saying this, Hamaguchi saying that. I think he said this before as well in previous interviews, that when it comes to the second part, that they're going to be they're not going away from the source material. Yeah, they're reimagining things, because a lot of people's thinking like, yo, in part one, they broke destiny, whatever was destined for them with the ghosts, the specters or the whisperers, they can do whatever they want to do now. And like I had a lot of conversations with people, like they thinking that the game is just going to be a whole different type of thing. And I'm telling people like, no, if you're listening to the interviews of what these guys are telling you, yo, Cold Blood Sensei, what's up, man? They are saying that, yeah, they're reimagining things. It's a remake of the game, but there's going to be literal aspects of the game that, they're keeping the original source material there. And I really respect that, man. That's one thing I do like about the remake as well, is because the remake does a lot of new stuff, a lot of new implementations to the original game, but the original concept and the core concept of the original game from Midgar perspective is still there. You know what I mean? Trying to save the planet, being this eco-terrorist group, Avalanche, you know what I mean? Cloud, working on himself, being this shadow of a self that he think he is, but he's realizing certain things in certain aspects, like, yo, hold up, who am I really? You know what I mean? You don't really get that so much within Midgar, but you see a little glimpses here and there as you crash in with Aerith and all that stuff, and you have like these little flashes and all that stuff. And the remake, it touched more upon that as well, man. So I like how they are quickly developing Cloud in the remake as well. You know what I mean? So, but it's still having that original source material there. So yeah, I have the utmost confidence when it comes to the directors and the producers and the developers and all that stuff, because the things that they're saying, they're also doing. It's not like they're saying one thing and then when we play the game, it's something completely different. Like, no, you said he was going to do this and this and that. No, they're actually keeping up with what they're saying. And just add just the level of detail with the Yuffie Intermission DLC. Like, I already have, like I said, the utmost confidence when it comes to, part 2. Like, I legit can't wait for it, because now, like, when it comes to Yuffie, Yuffie is like my second favorite female character in 7. You know what I mean? Because once you get Yuffie, man, I feel like Yuffie was just a dope character. She's very annoying. She's very immature. But especially when you hit Wutai and you get that backstory from her, like, you get a certain love for the character. Like, damn, man. I understand where you're coming from, man. Like, your father, this big Wutai, you know what I mean? The ruler of Wutai and all that stuff. And you wanting to bring glory back to Wutai and all that stuff, but you understand the world ending scope of things. So there's certain moments where, yeah, you're on a mission to do stuff, but you got to put that in the back burner to save the world and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just a good dynamic with the character, man. and she got some dope ass abilities as well. Like for me personally, um, yeah, Sid is a dope character as well. I like, yeah, Sid is always on the squad. Like when it comes to like my main squad in Final Fantasy, it's going to be, you know, obviously Cloud, Sid, and Barret. Because like if you want to get stuff done, especially when you get like level 4, you know, limit break, like those three right there, like you're gonna get shit done. You know what I mean? You're gonna have some fun, you know, with Yuffie as well and with Tifa and all that stuff. But when you want to get to the nitty gritty, you know what I mean? Catastrophe, the high wind limit breaks and stuff like that. Those are like the most damaging limit breaks. But I do like Yuffie's as well because it does like a lot of status effect. But yeah, man, I'm super excited for part 2. Like just hearing some of these stuff, what they're saying is like, yeah, they're gonna nail it, man. Like I'm going there with a lot of confidence. Like, yo, they're gonna nail this because they nailed it with part 1. You know what I mean? Like you have that original source material and you're building up on it, and the stuff that they are building up and reimagining, they're doing a good job doing it. You know what I mean? Like back then, you might have probably have to cut some stuff within the story, or you might have to limit yourself just due to the technology of, you know, your vision and the image that you want to purvey with these characters. Yeah, PS1 was a beast back then, but it still was very limited. Well, now with PS5 and all that stuff, you can do so much of the stuff that you wanted to do back then and implement it in this remake. So, and we're obviously seeing some of that as well. My biggest question mark stuff though, and one of these days we'll go through like a theory, you know, podcast as well, is the implementation of Zack. You know what I mean? Like Zack implementation. Is it in the set times period with Cloud? Is it in a different time period? Are they setting up for a different game with Zack? Is there going to be a Crisis Core remake or something? You know what I mean? Like that stuff is very intriguing to me as well. But me personally, I wouldn't want them to do anything with Zack as they're doing part 2, unless he's within part 2 as well. Like you're playing story aspects of Zack in there as well. Like having a separate game, I wouldn't want them to do that yet. Complete the remake of 7, then we can work on the stuff with Zack, and then you can do stuff after that. And I'm very intrigued on how they tackle Vincent as well in part 2, man. Like does Nibelheim in itself, like that is where and Cosmo Canyon as well. I definitely want to see how they tackle that, because they already kind of tackled that in Midgar and Shinra building. You know what I mean? The same little technology that the Cosmo Canyon Bukenhagen had, where he's showing off, like, you know, the different what's happening with the world and the Cetra and all that stuff, and you know what I mean, the backstory that's given there. They kind of did that there in Midgar. You know what I mean? Yo, Ice Queen Gaming, what's up? They kind of did that with Midgar. So I think it's going to be dope, man, what they do in part 2, and I can't wait. Just reading the comments once again. Yo, Baruto, what's up, man? Appreciate you guys coming through, yo. So yeah, man, I have the utmost confidence, guys, in this, man. I don't want to limit it to just this title. So he's saying I don't want to limit it to just this title. So he's probably just talking about part 2. You don't want to limit it to just the part 2. This is kind of giving a little hint here that it's going to be more than one part. I am reminded that the next installment, it's of utmost importance not to damage the memories from the source material while reimagining it. So yeah, like I said, that is very, very key in my opinion. Like, I love this game. Yeah, I like you remaking the game, but you have source material. Don't go astray from it. That's the same thing I have with like a lot of these Marvel movies as well. Like, I love Marvel. I read Marvel all the time. I watch their movies. I watch their cartoon. Yo, Roxas, what's up, man? But when it comes to their movies in the MCU, I feel like they have the source material, but they go so far away from the source material. Yeah, you have a concept of the character, and then they just go so far away in what the concept of the character is, and that stuff pisses me off. But I feel like with the remake, they took the source material, the original source material, and just reimagined it to modern day. It's not like they're going so far and beyond of what the original source material is. Yeah, there's certain aspects with, like, you know, Avalanche members, if they're alive or not, you know what I mean, if they're alive or not, certain characters being alive, you know, that stuff is kind of out there, but I don't think it's too out there where it's going to be detrimental to people, you know, playing the second part or wanting more of the remake. You know what I mean? Yo, how many parts do y'all think it's going to be? I think it's going to be 3 parts. I think there's going to be 3 parts. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain aspects in Final Fantasy VII Remake, you can still like quote for like the original source of the game. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit more detailed. Like, they're giving more detail than the original game was given. That's why there's so much other aspects to Final Fantasy. You have the movie. I mean, Final Fantasy VII. You have the movie. You have other games. You have you know, an anime. You know what I mean? Where they're continually explaining the lore of Final Fantasy VII, where the original game, it couldn't do that in just one swoop. I feel like they're trying to do that in one swoop when it comes to the remake, and probably branch off from that, you know, after it's done. That's the impressions that I'm getting when it comes to the remake. And like I said, listening to and reading what they're saying, I'm very happy with what they're saying here. You know what I mean? Yo, Forget Me Not, what's up, man? That's Hollywood though, Jay Bari. That's why comic books are pretty much dead and manga is kicking their ass. Yeah, like comic books it's much more like a cult kind of thing. And when I say cult kind of thing, it's very niche now. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people read the comic books. Yeah, they love these characters, and you know, the original source of the characters are the comic books, but a lot of these movies is just like they're going away from, like, one thing. If you guys haven't seen Black Widow yet, there's a certain character in that movie where they just changed the whole gender. You know what I mean? And changed the whole backstory. Like, this was like a very pivotal character to the Avengers, to a lot of Marvel characters. And you just like change the whole shit. It's just a name. You know what I mean? It's a concept. It's not like a character per se. And that even though I enjoyed the movie, it kind of pissed me off. I was like, yo, come on, man. You did this with Captain Marvel. I enjoyed that movie as well, but you're changing these characters and just making them concepts. Like, they're just like, they're a name in the original source, and you can make it whatever you want to make it. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of pisses me off. You know? But with the remake, they're not doing that. A lot of people were saying that stuff like, oh, I'm a huge Final Fantasy VII fan. Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game. I'm upset what they're doing in the remake. Yeah, right. You're full of shit. We know when people say that, we know what it is. They don't want to play it on PlayStation. They're waiting for it to come on their platform, like PC or something like that. We already know the fact. When Final Fantasy VII Remake hit PC, you're going to see all these people that aren't fans of the remake and hate what Square is doing. They all going to buy it up and watch their opinions on the game. It's like, yo, this game is great. Watch. Guarantee. Guarantee. All right, so let's continue here. Those first 2 quotes was the main ones that I really kind of wanted to talk about here. Because everything else here, they're going into intermission. Like, I had a strong desire of the story intermission to allow those players that play Final Fantasy VII Remake to experience more of the lore deeply. As a result, we're able to dive deeper into the Avalanche HQ, Wutai, the Shinra building basement, etc. So that's, you see what I'm saying? That's exactly what I'm saying right there. Where with the remake, they're trying to consolidate all of the source material of the Final Fantasy VII lore and pack it into like a one package. You know what I mean? Where it's not just all over the place, like how 7, you had the mobile games, you had the anime, you had movies, you had, you know, other branch off games and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They're trying to compact all of that source material in one thing here, which were only touched upon in the base game of the remake. See, I didn't even read that sentence yet, and I got, you know, I just said that. And this time, for Yuffie's perspective, as such as I'm hoping it turned out to be something our fans were able to enjoy. Yeah, it was. It was. Yo, Paul G, what's up, man? Yuffie DLC was definitely something that I thoroughly enjoyed. Like I 100% that DLC. You know what I mean? The only one thing I have left to do is just beat Weiss, and I'm working on that, trying to level up these materia. But yeah, man, I felt like the Yuffie DLC was a great start introducing that character, introducing her quirkiness, her immaturity, you know, but also having her goal set upon something. Because once Yuffie has a goal set upon it, she's locked in. Even if it's gonna be betraying her party members or her friends, you know what I mean? But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy. You said Weiss is hard as shit, as he should be, as he should. I heard he's pretty hard. You know what I mean? I heard he's pretty hard. That's why I'm trying to level up all my HP ups and my MP ups and magic ups as well. Like I'm going through the game right now, just like having those materials in my you know, equipped, and I'm just leveling them up, the HP ups and all that stuff. Yo, Paul G said, yo, we have too much anime X manga in in your blood, my boy. Yeah, I mean, manga, when it comes to manga and anime, it's very light changes. You know what I mean? It's the anime might not be as detailed as the manga. You know, they have what, 24 minutes, you know what I mean, to get all the stuff that they have to do in a couple of volumes. But it's still holding the source material there. Like I feel like you're not getting that when it comes to comics in itself. You know what I mean? You're not getting that with comics itself. But even with comics, you know, a lot of the source material, the continuity changes as well sometimes, because you might have a different, like, you know, writer or a different author that might change certain things, but they're not like changing the overall specifics of the character like how the movies is doing. You know what I mean? Which kind of pisses me off. But once again, like Final Fantasy VII is like my favorite game of all time, and with the remake, it's not giving me a MCU vibe because they're not changing the whole continuity of the characters. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's certain changes in there, but I feel like a lot of the changes that's in there is not detrimental to the whole overarching story of 7. You know what I mean? And once again, we got Hamaguchi saying that he's reminded that the next installment, it's of utmost importance not to damage the memories of the source material while reimagining the game. So hearing quotes like that, I'm super excited, because I'm very curious what they're going to do in part 2. Like there's a lot of set pieces, there's a lot of scenes in part 2 that are very you know, utmost importance. Like those are memories of our childhood that we love. You know what I mean? Like, yo, don't screw that up. And I feel like they did a great job when it comes to Midgar, because there's a lot of stuff that they did in Midgar. Yeah, like I say, it's a little different because reimagining it, but it's still there. You know what I mean? The funniest thing I heard, the funniest thing I heard, it was like somebody trying to attach the SJW movement to Final Fantasy VII Remake with the whole Cloud, you know, cross-dressing scene. And I'm just like, yo, you can just tell, like, you ain't played the original game. Yeah, they didn't have all that dancing and all that stuff in there, but you know what I mean, that original concept of, you know, him dressing up to infiltrate, you know, my man, you know, Don Corio, you know, mansion is there. Yeah, they added stuff in between that, but the original concept is there of him infiltrating. That's how he's gonna get in, you know what I mean, and save Tifa. But you know, people try to attach the SJW, like, oh, why he gotta dress up as a girl and this and that. Like, yo, are you paying attention to the story? Like, he's upset the whole time doing it. You know what I mean? And now we're actually seeing that rendered in like real time, like 3D. You know what I mean? Where we're seeing Cloud's disgust of like, yo, dressing up as a girl and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Canero. I say Canero. Canero. You know what I mean? That we're seeing that disgust in his face, like, don't bother me, don't talk to me. You know what I mean? I'm doing this for Tifa. And then it ended up turning into like I'm finding out that Sector 7 got to get blown up. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I feel like they did a great job with the remake, man. And that's why I'm super excited for part 2. Hopefully we get it sooner than later. I don't think it's going to be that far away. You know what I mean? Because other interviews, they said they got the source material from the remake. It's going to make it much faster to make part 2. And part 2 been in full developments for like since I think like early 2020. It been in full development. Well, not full development, but it been in development. When the game came out, when remake came out, it went into full development. But yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. 2022 might be a bang of a year, man. It might be a bang of a year 2022, yo. Because if we can get, damn, so my chat not working as well. I'll fix that stuff later. If we can get Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 and Final Fantasy VII 16, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. And speaking of Final Fantasy 16, let's get some quotes here from my man Yoshi P, the savior of FF14. I don't think it's coming out in 2023. Yo, Phantom, yeah, because I remember 2019 TGS where Katase was like they're in development for part 2 already. Yeah, it went in full development in 2022 after after the original remake came out. But I don't think we're gonna get it as late of 2023. I don't think so. But let's look at what Audrey's saying here with Yoshi P. When it comes to Final Fantasy 16. The Final Fantasy 16 updates from Yoshi P. Voice recording for the English version is almost complete. That's good to hear. All scenarios set in stone. That's good to hear. So that means the game is pretty much done. They just got to do a little bit of voiceovers and stuff like that. Development going well, but they might not be able to show it at TGS. That is a little concerning right there. And she's gonna further explain that comment, but that's a little bit concerning right there. Like, damn, this shit not gonna be at TGS the middle of September. You know what I mean? You promised to show the game off this year, but sheesh, you know what I mean? He wants to show it at the utmost quality so people can watch and think instant buy, which I'm with that. Because the originally when they showed the trailer, that was an instant buy for me already. You know what I mean? That was an instant buy already. So let me take the quote with here of what he's saying. Yoshi P on Final Fantasy 16. He said, "Yo, Japan state of emergency now. Expect more development." Yeah, I know the COVID over in Japan is a little bit crazier over there. But I don't think it's gonna be affecting stuff to be like 2023 a whole year out. No, I don't think so. But we have all the scenarios set in stone already, and the voice recording for English versions is in its final stages. Development is going well. It's quite difficult to make sure the quality is amazing. We want the next announcement to be something where everyone watches and says, "I'm going to buy this game." Thus, we're putting a lot of effort to make sure the quality is great. When I hear stuff like that, though, you can definitely feel like, okay, a delay is coming up, for the game. Like, they're gonna have probably an announcement sooner for delay coming up, but we'll see. I want to show something at TGS, but I'm not sure if we'll make that deadline. So yeah, that's a little concerning there. But I don't like throwing it out bits to string people along with small updates. So I want to show it when it's ready. And pretty much that's the same type of saying like how the Sony developers are saying, the PlayStation Studios, like Sony Santa Monica and what's my man name, Cory Balrog. Pretty much the same effect that we're getting here, like the same saying kind of with they want to show it when it's ready. don't want to string out small bits of ideas here to people, to string people in. They want to show like, yo, this game is gonna look good. You know what I mean? So that's Yoshi P on Final Fantasy 16. Like, yeah, it's a little concerning that saying something like that. We're in what, July? And he's already saying like, yo, you don't know if we're gonna hit that deadline for TGS. Kind of concerning, you know, when the game has been announced last year in June. You know what I mean? And it's not like they already shown gameplay. They already have the website up for the game. They're already talking about the characters and explaining characters. Like, I feel like development is going going well, as he's saying here. But to say that you're not ready to show off any more of the game, that you're not sure at TGS, is a little bit concerning. But I'm looking more positive when it comes to it, man. I just want to see more of it. I want the next announcement or the next trailer to have the like a release date there and have the game pre-ordered as well. But I'm not gonna be like stressing them, you know what I mean, especially after saying all this. But at the end of the day, I would love for them to be there at TGS. That's just what it is. I would love for them to be there at TGS, but if they're not going to be there, it's going to be disappointing, regardless of knowing it, that, you know, he's not sure already. But it's still going to be disappointing for me personally. But yeah, man, they already said that Forspoken is going to be early 2022, right? So Final Fantasy 16, you probably looking at like a summer release, like early summer. And early 2022 can mean anything. You know what I mean? That junk can be like from January to April, or to some developers even June. You know what I mean? As long as the first half, because I've heard a lot of developers say early 2020 or 2021, and the game coming out in like May or June. You know what I mean? So that can mean anything though. But if I see Forspoken coming out, like in April or May or June or anything like that, then yeah, you can definitely see like Final Fantasy 16 coming like holiday for sure. Yo, Chris says, yo, 16 2022, 7 remake, part 2 2023. I think they're gonna come out the same year. Yeah, part 2 is 2023, depending on how bad the pandemic affects development. Because to be honest with you, when you read the quotes as far as development, when it comes to remake, it sounds better than what he's saying here with 16. So I don't know how, if anything, I don't know how remake part 2 will come out after 16. You know what I mean? Like, both of them are saying the development is good. I feel like when it comes to 16, with 7 remake, they're probably going to have more stuff to do. But everything that they're saying, the development, what they're saying is like, it's been sounding better than what they've been saying here with 16. So I don't know if it comes out 2023, it is what it is, but I don't think it will come out 2023. That's just me personally. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We shall see. We shall see. Yeah, 16 have been in development longer than 7 Part 2, but 16 they're saying they're not sure if they can even make TGS, and they're talking about quality and all that stuff here. Everything that they've been saying for 7 remake, they sounding like they good to go. They good. I'm not saying that it's going to be a snap of the finger is going to be there, but every development article that I read with 7, they're not really talking about the hurdles of development. They're saying that development is going much faster than usual, or it's much smoother than usual. You know what I mean? The most that they're talking about with 7 remake is like the reaction of fans and letting people know that like this quote right here, what it's saying, like keep the utmost importance of keeping those memories for the source material. But you're not really hearing stuff as far as like, yeah, where the development is not going so well or whatnot, where it would expand development time or whatnot. With 16, we're getting that with Yoshi P himself. You know what I mean? Or where I can assume that, but they are kind of in the final stages already. So, you know, I just think they probably just want that next trailer just to look like banging. You know what I mean? That shouldn't look fire. But they are rearing to the end of the development cycle. So we'll definitely see. Like I'm not opposed for part 2 coming out in 2023. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it won't, but I'm just saying that from what I'm hearing from the developers, I don't see any signs of it coming out in 2023. You know what I mean? Because that's like, you already have like big games from Square coming out in 2020, and I mean 2022. You know what I mean? It's not, if they're not saying, oh, we're not going to put out Babylon Falls or Forspoken because this game is coming out. You know what I mean? They want to hit you. They want to hit you hard. I think that's more like fans saying stuff like that. You know what I mean? Where they're saying like, I don't think they should come out with this game in this year, 2 Final Fantasy VII game. I don't think Square's really worried. Square's worried about, yeah, there's going to be 2 different audiences, or there's going to be the same audiences, but we're having 2 games. This can bring us a lot of revenue within a year. You know what I mean? That's where I'm thinking. What else she said here? Yoshi P said Yoshi P said he talks with the staff of FF16 and wants the next announcement to be where after watching the trailer, you'll want to buy it and you can buy the game shortly after. AKA the next time Final Fantasy XVI is talked about, it's likely they'll have a release date will be close. So yeah, that being said, and they're not going to be at TGS, or he's saying that they don't think they're going to hit that that goal of being at TGS. When is the next time that you think it will be shown? You know what I mean? I mean, they can show off the trailer or do a stream or whenever. But at the end of the day, I do think this game is coming out 2022 though. They said mid-late 2023. Final Fantasy 16 late 2022. GT6. Yeah, hold on. Let me open a Discord as I try to get these stuff back as well. 1 second. Yo, Kingdom Hearts, we not getting that until like we not getting Kingdom Hearts till like 2027, which is gonna be disappointing, yo. But it is what it is, yo. It is what it is, man. Yeah, I'm in the Discord, Chris. Just let me know when you're here. Yo, I don't know what it is when it comes to Kingdom Hearts games, man. They take their time, yo. Yo, I'm with you, Roxas. Trust me, I'm with you. I would love that thing to like be 2023, 2024, but I don't know, man. When it comes to Kingdom Hearts, yo, they do take their time. I feel like we're probably going to get a smaller scale Kingdom Hearts game before we get like part 4. And that's how they like to roll when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, but we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, what up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's good, Chris?
What's up, man? Nah, man, I just wanted to like this is the reason why I believe that like Remake Part 2 is most likely gonna come out in 2023 and not next year, only because it's like, yeah, like I believe them when they're saying like, you know, development is going through is going real good. Even the more I wanted to talk more about it, like a few months ago, but remember, like they wouldn't let him talk more about it, so he just gave like a little teaser or whatever. So I believe that they're like real focused and the development's going good, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna do like a super quick turnaround, because they still got, because I think they're gonna cover a lot of grounds in part 2. Like I'm thinking like maybe up to like the Northern Crater and stuff like that. So they're gonna have to build out these worlds, like they build out Midgard, right? But then they gotta build out all these worlds and like the world more, and like these locations, and they gotta expand upon them. Like I believe Junon is gonna be bigger, than the original. We already saw like, at the end of Intergrade, we saw a teaser for like Calm and stuff like that, and that's like bigger and shit like that. So I think like that is probably gonna take the most time, is developing like the areas and fleshing them out. Like, because if we're gonna go through like all this, and then Golden Saucer, and then Cosmo Canyon, and then Nibelheim and stuff like that, I don't think that's gonna be a real quick development cycle. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna take them a little bit. That's why I'm thinking more on the lines of 2023. And then Final Fantasy 16, since it's been in development, a lot longer or whatever, I think that's going to be the big Final Fantasy game of 2022. And then Square will want to stagger, FF7 Part 2 like in 2023, so they have another one for the year. For the year. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know. I could be wrong. It could come out next year. You never know. But that's the logic I'm using.
Nah, like I understand where you're coming from. Like it's not. Yeah, you're making a lot of sense. I just feel like I've been hearing. We've been seeing that the game has been in development since late 2019. You know what I mean?
Late 2019, yeah,
and
yeah.
The fact that they already have the game there, and look how quick they produced something like a Yuffie DLC. You know what I mean? Not saying that part 2 is going to be on that scale, but that was super fast, and that was right there on PS5 as well. You know what I mean? I don't feel like like I said, I'm not even saying that it might not come out 2023, because like I said, what you're saying make a lot of sense. I'm just going more like, as a fan, I would love to play that shit right away. You know what I mean? Like 2022.
No, facts, of course.
You know what I mean? But I'm not even discrediting what you're saying. Like there's gonna be, that's a lot of Final Fantasy in 1 year. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's just like, I don't think go ahead, my bad.
No, I was gonna say, but not only that, it's like a lot of people really don't know this, but FF7 Remake Part 1, like when it first got announced, it was being developed by CyberConnect 2. Like everybody knows that, okay, it was CyberConnect 2, and then Square Enix came through mid development, scrapped it, and pretty much started from scratch. A lot of people don't know that Final Fantasy Remake Part 1, that Square Enix actually did that in about, even though we were waiting about 5 years, Square Enix actually developed that game in about 2.5 years, since they scrapped the CyberConnect version. So they were able to produce a game like this, like that quick, at that high of a quality and shit like that. So like, if it wasn't for the whole COVID situation, I would definitely say like FF16 was supposed to come out this year, and then Final Fantasy Remake Part 2 was gonna come out next year. But I think the COVID is really gonna delay some things. Even though the development is going well, they still gonna be hit with some delays and stuff like that. Like look at what they've been saying, that they're gonna be showing off Final Fantasy 16 this year, but then now he's saying that he might not even make it to the Tokyo Game Show. And to me, that's also confirmation that the next Sony event, right? There's like rumor, like event, like in August or whenever this shit coming out, that Final Fantasy 16 is probably not going to be showing there neither. So, so we also got to take into, some of like the delays because of COVID. Japan's in a state of emergency right now. So, I think a lot of, because God of War is supposed to come out this year, right? Yep. Like it's just been affecting like a lot of the industry worldwide. So like if it wasn't for this COVID shit, I definitely expect FF7 like Part 2 like next year. Then Final Fantasy 16 would have came out this year and shit like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with a lot of that, because COVID definitely is setting a lot of stuff back. But I feel like it's kind of weird that he's saying that he don't know if he's gonna hit that deadline. And Yoshi P ain't no lie, you know what I mean? He's pretty upfront with a lot of shit.
He ain't gonna troll, right?
So I felt like that was kind of weird. Like, damn, you ain't gonna hit that deadline. That's kind of, woo.
We probably won't see it to the Game Awards, to be honest with you. We probably won't see it to the Game Awards. That's probably when we see like actual footage of it. Because what he's saying, he's like, yo, next time we show it, because he was kind of like insecure about the last show on the FF16. Like, even though for us it looked great, but like when he was talking about the trailer, he was like, yeah, but there were some things that I didn't really like, you know, and that could be improved and stuff like that, which I like hearing that, right? Like developers, they like critiquing their own shit or whatever. So the next showing is going to be crazy. They're probably going to show like we got party members and shit like that.
Yeah, they're going to go much more detail, showing off like what the characters can do. You probably, you know, like we want to see the menu, like how that menu looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the combat, if there's going to be part. I think there's going to be. Some people think there's not because they only show that one character, the first trailer. But I mean, they did the same thing with like Lightning, and they did. You know, they've done some similar shit before. But I think there's definitely going to be like all the party members and shit like that as well that they're going to show.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like it's not going to be just a solo thing. You might just be controlling him, you know, more than anybody. But it's definitely going to have a party system. But yeah, I want to see the menus, man. I want to see thoroughly like the HUD. I want to see how it's going to, you know, how the combat is going to really be. I want to see some of the world as well, because on the website they already explain some of the world and all these different locations and the
kingdoms, the different kingdoms. Yeah,
so I want to see some of that as well, man. But we'll see. Yo, Game Over Brian said, yo, Jay, for you and Chris, when Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 come out, do you think trophies will pop automatically? Hey, yo, shout out to my man. Game Over.
I get it. Yeah.
You letting us know, like, yo, man, these questions gonna definitely pop up. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, yeah, like I said, I'm not in disagreeing. You know, it could come out 2023. I feel like if it does come out 2023, it might be like the same April, same type of May kind of release. But yeah, that's
so where do you think Part 2 is going to end?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to end in Northern Cavern.
Yeah, the Northern Crater.
Yeah, the Northern Crater. Yeah. Like, I feel like it possibly might end around the reunion area time. You know what I mean? Before, you know, everybody gathering up for the reunion and you're fighting like the Genova, what is it called? Synthesis? I forgot who you're fighting there. I know it's a part of Genova you're fighting. But
yeah, you fight one of the Genovas, yeah.
It might end right there. You know what I mean? But we'll see. Like they're saying, they're telling us, they're letting us know, like, yo, the source material is gonna be there. Like, I've been telling people, like, people be having these theories, and they be getting scared. Like, yo, they gonna change the game up. They broke Destiny. I'm like, yo, they're not gonna just make a entirely new game like that, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's certain things that they can change that's gonna happen within the structure of FF7, but I don't think they're gonna entirely change the whole story structure of the game.
And this is what they've been saying before, and this is what I was saying before, is like all of the like the main story points of the original FF7, they're all gonna be in the remake. So it's like, you know, you gotta go to Junon and take the boat to Costa del Rey, and then from there you go to the little prison camp, and then you go to Golden Saucer, then you go to like all that shit is still gonna be like, you're still gonna, you know, Eris is still gonna die, of course, you know what I mean? But how she dies or when she dies, that's probably gonna be the things that they change up. That's gonna be the stuff that they change. So it's like the main story plots are still gonna be there, but it's like the in-betweens and how you get there, or some of the things that happens in those main story plots are probably gonna be the things that change up and stuff like that. You know, so they can keep the people who know the game through and through, like us, on our toes, so we're not just like reliving the same thing. We're experiencing like new things as well. And it's a reimagining. What I think it's perfect at the end after the crater, where Cloud falls. You know, Cloud he goes crazy, so he gives up the black material. Then he falls into the live stream, and then Tifa and Barrett and, like, you know, the rest of the party, they get captured by Shinra. So they're in jail waiting their execution. Meteor has been summoned. Cloud, they don't know where Cloud is. Cloud is lost. And then they look out the window, and there's a big comic where there's a big meteor coming, and then boom, they end it right there. And you know what I mean? I think that'd be the best way to do it. Then Part 3, It's when the whole entire world is fully unlocked. That's when you get your full open world. But it's fully unlocked, and you can take the Highwind anywhere. You can go back to Midgard and shit like that. So you can go to new areas. I think they'll be dope if they do it like that, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, and they right there where all the weapons
where the stakes
summoned.
where the stakes are like at its highest. The meteors coming, the weapons are coming from the ocean. The people are like, what the fuck? And then boom, like the stake is at its highest, and then boom.
They wake up with Cloud in the what's the town with the old people?
Medill. Is it
Tifa?
Yeah, but they're looking for him. So like the beginning of part 3 will be like, hey, where's Cloud? We need to find him. And then it's like the beginning quest of part 3 was like you trying to find Cloud again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
dope. Yo, Strictly Gaming, what's good, man? Yo, Nelson Gaming, what's up, man? Omni Slasher, Omni Slasher is definitely gonna be. Omni Slasher is definitely gonna be. I think they're gonna save Limit Break 4 for like the final, but yeah.
And you know what? I think if they wanted to go really dark this time around, they could have Cloud goes crazy a couple times and he beats Aerith, and one time he almost kills her. You know what I mean? Like before Sephiroth, like one time, like he pulls his sword up and everything like that, but they stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, they wanted to go really dark instead of it being the same, like, oh, Sephiroth kills Aerith. What if this time Cloud loses control and he's the one that kills Aerith? That would be crazy, bro.
I think that would be too much of a change. That would set people off. You know what I mean? And then that would kind of lose type of not the interest, but the motivation to really stop Sephiroth, because now it's just more of a thing that you have to control or you have to, fix.
I'm just saying, I think that would be like a crazy ass twist though, but I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they're gonna do that.
Yo, that would be a crazy ass change, yo. Issa, what's up, man? Envy Dub, Peter Vickers, what's up, man? When you think part 2 will have a release date? Not sure, man. I'm hoping for like late 2022, but I can see a early 2023 as well. Cause yeah, Square do have a lot of games coming out in 2022. Like Forspoken, Babylon Fall is gonna hit. I'm assuming FF16 is gonna hit 2022 as well. I feel like that Guardian. Well, I ain't gonna put the Guardians in the Japanese sector of things, and I'm gonna leave that alone. But I feel like that's gonna get a delay too. 2024? Nah, there's no way they're talking about this game that much, and the game is in 2024. No way.
Nah, hell no, that shit not. That shit better not. I think part 3. So if part 2 comes out in 2023, and they want to make a full open world, like, I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about it because part of me is thinking like they might want to aim part 3 for like a 2027 release date. That way it falls on the 30th anniversary. Mm-hmm. And then it's the finale and shit like that. But then that'll be like 4 years away after part 2 releases. So I don't know if I want that to wait that long, but that'll be that's another possibility as well.
Yo, CB3 says 2023 or 2024. Final Fantasy VII Remake just dropped last year. You know how long Square takes with certain games, but I know Square takes long with games, but every development talk or interview that they're saying here, it's not like the classic Square stuff that they're saying. They saying the development's going good, and we already seen. You're looking at gameplay right here of Yuffie DLC. This is like they showing a whole different sector of Midgard. Like they showing the basement of Midgard. You know what I mean? You out here in Shinra building. The DLC is pretty big, man. I'm not saying it's gonna be as expansive as part 2, but it's pretty big. Do a lot of stuff in that DLC.
Yeah, the DLC is definitely much more expansive, and they did a quick turnaround on that. And like what I was saying earlier is, like, Square seems to be kind of getting away from that whole long development cycle or whatever, because they've had a couple of long development cycles and that really like affected them and shit like that. So like in Final Fantasy Remake Part 1, it's like after they took control from what CyberConnect 2 did, because they didn't like the quality, they turned that bitch around in like 2.5 years.
Yeah, because that's a good point, because FF7 Remake would have been probably coming out earlier in 2020. You know what I mean? Like, matter of fact, FF7 got delayed Remember, it got delayed, man. It got delayed.
I got delayed like
a few times. It got delayed.
A couple months, but but even the Final Fantasy 16 developer, he said that because they were saying how like when FF16 was shown, it was, you know, we won't have to wait too much longer to when it's released or whatever, because the developer said himself he wants to get away from that stigma of Square that they show a game and they don't release it for like 5 to 10 years later or whatever. So he actually touched upon that. So it's looking like Square is definitely getting their management, and they're definitely getting tighter with like the development, at least like that Japanese side of Square, the in-house. I don't really like all the Western side of Square. I don't really like their studios, but yeah.
Now FF7, I remember hearing something about. I remember it coming out late. No, it was going to come out in February. It was going to come out in February because a lot of people was assuming late night 2019, but it was going to come out in February. Then it got delayed to April. You know what I mean? So yeah,
it got delayed like 3 months. So, and then they came out with Integrate a year after that with the DLC, which was a pretty big DLC. Like it's not small at all. Like you're getting a substantial amount of content. And then now look at Integrate. Like, yo, Integrate is actually scoring higher than Vanilla Remake. Like Integrate is at 89 now on Metacritic.
Nah, seven was supposed to come out in February. It was supposed to come out February.
Yeah, I think it was like February 19th or some shit like that.
Yep. And it got delayed till April. I remember it was like, oh, Cyberpunk was supposed to come out the same month when it got delayed. But not March. It was like February.
It came out, and it came out like really polished. You know, other than like the texture issues or whatever, but I think that was more on like the engine and like the PS4 and shit like that. But it came out extremely polished. Like there was no bugs or it wasn't glitchy or anything like that. Like they did a fucking really good job for like the amount of content and shit like that. Do that shit. So I definitely believe, because they've been saying, but you know what's helping them do that as well to make it come that quick turnaround?
Unreal.
The fact that, well, not just that, the fact that it's also an exclusive. A lot of people overlook that because they only have to focus on one platform. So it makes them more efficient, you know. And they've been saying that they want to get the remakes out as quick as possible. And the best way to do that is to like make it exclusive, more efficient or whatever. So I wouldn't expect Remake Part 2 to be on Xbox or anything like that. So
that's what I remember when I was talking to Kofi, because Kofi, he was telling me that they're gonna come out with the remakes and all that stuff the next year or the following year and all that stuff. And look at we at right now. You know what I mean? The 7 remake is still PS4, PS5 exclusive. And I told him, I was like, yo, I feel like, I'm not saying that they're not going to come to other platforms, but I feel like they're going to have it develop through PlayStation first before it comes to any other platform. People was telling me fanboy, and it's like, oh, you just say like other places. Like, nah, I'm like, it makes perfect sense. You know what I mean?
It's going to come to PC, but not on Xbox. At least not anytime soon, I don't think. You know. So, but we'll see.
We'll definitely see, man. We'll definitely see. Now that Intermission is out, you know, we'll see how it is next year if it's gonna. Cause Intermission got another year exclusive, you know, to play this. So, you know,
it was 6 months, like another 6 months extended as exclusive before it comes to other platform. But I think the other platform that is coming to is PC. Yo,
Chris Hart, what's up, man? He said Sony has some of the best studios in their corner for the reason why Xbox has to buy your studios and keep them on the competitor. Square Enix know what's up. I mean, it is what it is with that, man. But
and just like we were saying before, like when you brought up Kofi or whatever, like, yo, we would tell everybody that like it's not like episodic how people thought. Like these are gonna be like full blown games. Mm-hmm. It's not gonna be no like these small games that come out every 6 months to a year. Like some people was thinking. It was like, nah, bro. Like look at Remake Part 1, especially now with Integrate with the episode. Like you're getting like 70 to 100 hours. Like
and they still don't want to take their L with that, man. Yo, Nova 4, what's up, man? I never played this game yet, but I want to. Yeah, go ahead and play it, man. It's a great game, amazing game. This is the DLC. This is Intermission DLC, but I feel like people, yo, once you play 7 Remake, man, you're gonna get hooked, yo. The gameplay is that good, the story is that engaging, the characters are that dope. That's why I always tell people, like, people be like, oh, you think Final Fantasy 7 is your favorite Final Fantasy because it's your first. No, it wasn't. My first Final Fantasy was 6, but 7 became my favorite because the characters, yo. Like, I feel like every character can have their own game outside of like Cat 6 or whatnot, but the characters in itself, it's probably the best in the class in Final Fantasy series. And yo, the game, the story in itself is dope. Cause look what they have been doing with Final Fantasy VII. They haven't been doing with like every other Final Fantasy because the lore of the story is so engaging. Where they're making movies, they're making mobile games,
books,
they're making,
novels.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they can. It's so expansive. I'm not saying that they wouldn't do that for the other games, but with 7, people caught on to that so quick. Like, yo, I like this. I like this lore. I like this setting. I like the characters. Where, you know what I mean? It's a gold mine for them.
Yeah, you know when they're gonna take the L though? They're gonna take the L when Part 2 comes out, and they see how big Part 2 is, and like having all these different characters now in your party and the team up attacks and like the action and like in this like open area, right? It's not gonna be, because I don't believe Part 2 is gonna be like a full open world, but I think the zones are gonna be huge. It's gonna seem like an open world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, definitely. So when they see like how crazy Part 2 is, it's gonna prove to them once again, like, yo, in order for Square Enix to do an entire remake in this style, in this quality, and this fidelity and shit like that, all this shit could have been done on a PS4 in one go. Yep. Like, I think Part 2 is really gonna open their eyes.
Yo, no lie, I was mad open at the end of Intermission because we saw a glimpse on like how big they making Calm. Like, I mean, Calm, I don't feel like was like a small town or city or whatnot, but it's not like Midgar, you know what I mean? But yo, I was like, yo, look at the buildings, yo. You know, I watched that NC like mad times. Like, yo, look at this joint, yo. This joint's gonna be crazy.
Nah, but just even saying, like, when they're walking to Calm, and they're like, well, how long is it gonna take? And he's like, yo, it's gonna take a full day. Like, that alone telling you that, yo, it's gonna be like way more expansive this time around. It's not gonna be these little, Cloud as, this little chibi character walking in a, overworld and stuff like that. Like, they're making a 1-to-1 scale of the characters, which it wasn't like that in the original. That's what people not understanding. And you're gonna have 9 playable characters that are like action orientated, and then all this material. Like, you can't do that shit in one fucking go. This is why this was the best way to do it. Because now everything that they took from the original or from Final Fantasy Remake Part 1 and all the flaws and stuff that they have, now they can fix all these things and make Part 2 even better. That's why it's better for them to do it like this. Because you're still getting 40, 50, 60 hour, just the campaign alone. Mm-hmm. So,
yo, was it announced for March 3rd first, then delayed to 10th? I swore I remember something. It was gonna come out in.
It might have been. I think so.
In February.
You know what? Yeah, I think it was coming out in March. No, The Last of Us 2 was coming out in February, and this game was coming out in March, and then they delayed it to April, a week before Cyberpunk. I think it was, because Cyberpunk was supposed to come out in April,
and everybody was April.
Yeah. And everybody was like, oh, FF7 Remake is going to be dead, Cyberpunk, blah, blah, blah. Then look what happened to Cyberpunk. Look what happened to Cyberpunk. Mm-hmm. So, the most highly anticipated game, like, and FF7 Remake delivered, like, as far as, like, its anticipation, that shit delivered. Like, these other games didn't deliver. So,
yeah,
I can't wait.
That's a fact, yo. They definitely deliver as far as like the hype and all that stuff for the game. Like, yo, would it live up to the original? And all that? And it definitely did.
Yeah, and they created probably the best action RPG battle system like ever. Like with hybrid with like the ATB, because the ATB has always been the best turn-based mechanics, in my opinion. Like out of like JRPGs, right? Especially the materia system, because it's so like open-ended and like so much freedom to like customize like all your different characters and do different builds with them and shit like that. So it's like that mixed in with the action and man, it's gonna be crazy. And then they already hinted in that interview, they already said that like the whole synergy is gonna carry over. Like the synergy from Intermission is gonna carry over to part 2. So you're gonna have 3-man team like synergy and shit like that. That shit's gonna be crazy, bro.
Oh yeah,
Gonna be crazy.
Yeah, Roxas, you're right. Yeah, the original was March 3rd. Then it got delayed. Yeah, so it was The Last of Us that got was February then.
February.
So I remember getting the emails like, "Yo, your collector's edition is the delay. The date has changed." And then I saw the news of the delay and all that stuff. I was like, "Oh shit!" I don't know why I was thinking February.
Yeah, no, I think you think of like the Last of Us, a show like that. So and then Final Fantasy 16 combat is gonna be super nice, bro.
Yeah, 16.
That shit gonna be.
16. I know that's gonna be more action oriented, so I'm good with that anyway. But that way, yeah. When it comes,
but it's gonna be RPG though. It's gonna be RPG heavy as far as like the customization and shit and leveling it up.
No,
getting skills and shit.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm saying it's not like 7 Remake is action, but it's not. I think 16 is gonna, as far as when it comes to the action, you're gonna have more things to do. Like you have more choices, but. Like I agree with you 100%. Like 7 Remake, that's like it's pretty much the best battle system I played in the RPG. You know what I mean? Like yo, I thoroughly enjoyed this battle system, yo. And then playing Yuffie DLC, I'm like, yo, they expanded this joint with the whole synergy. I'm like, yo, I can't wait to play that joint. Well, part 2 and all that, man. Like it's gonna be crazy, man.
Yo, Yuffie hands down is the best playing character as far as her combat and her options. She plays better than anybody else, like Cloud, like anybody else. And they had to build her like that because of the DLC. But yeah, and then like all of the things like the tools that she has at her disposal, like the boomer form, like the quick dodging. It don't use up your ATB if you do it correctly, like the precision blocking. This is like so many things that they added with her, but they also fixed a few things in the base game too. Like they didn't really add much, but they fixed a couple of things. Like Tifa keeps her forms between battle. You know what I mean? So it's like if you use like your unbridled strength and level her up, but then like you don't get to use it. She still keeps the unbridled strength on the next battle. And there's a few more things that they tweaked in the vanilla game that they didn't even talk about, but I saw a video on it.
Yeah,
and it made shit better. It made like I'm loving Intergrade, the playthrough of Intergrade more than I liked my first playthrough of Remake.
Yeah, that's a fact. Cause it feels a lot much. I mean, because that's the frames and all
60 FPS.
But yeah, you can tell there's. I felt like there was like a new animations as well with Cloud as well. I think I have it saved, but I gotta rewatch it again because I don't know if I posted it yet, but I remember it's like, oh, this is new here. But,
another thing I forgot, you can cancel into block earlier now. Like before, it's kind of like you had to wait for like the animation before you can go into like block for like Cloud or whatever.
Yeah.
But now you can cancel block earlier now in his animations. That was another thing that they fixed.
Okay, yo, 1 second. Let me I'm missing I don't know what the hell happened with YouTube earlier. Like it just crashed the whole stream, and then it just like on OBS I have stuff that I normally had, now it's gone. So I don't have my counter here. Where do we get my counter at? I'll do it after the stream, man. But yo, I think we can end it here, man. Just talking about Remake Part 2 and 16. Like I feel like these comments that the developer is saying really dope. I'm happy that they're further, putting everybody's minds at ease, letting you know the utmost importance when it comes to source material, like for the purists and all that stuff. And like I say, it's not like these guys are just talking bullshit, because everything that they've been saying throughout the development of 7 Remake, they actually have done. Yo, Alex E, what's up, man? So yeah.
Yeah. And whenever they're not going through good development, they won't say nothing. They just keep quiet.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Whenever they're going through shitty development, They just because for a while we didn't hear anything about FF7 or anything like that. They just kept quiet, you know. So like whenever the squares like if they're actually coming out and say, hey, our development is going good and blah blah blah, like I believe them because they are like J Bar said they are delivering, but they usually when there's trouble, they don't say nothing. They just remain quiet. So
yeah, I remember that 2018, the silence. We didn't hear from, matter of fact, we didn't hear from the game like a year and a half, yo. Everybody was questioning. I remember Max was making videos like everybody was questioning. The 2019 hit. Oh baby, yeah, 2019 hit.
Yeah,
and it was just like, yo, it's over.
And they showed up.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Envy Dub, man, appreciate the $2, man. He said thoughts on the Fort Condor mini game. Oh, that game is amazing, man.
A very fun, yo. The only thing I didn't like about Intermission is that Fort Condor is not online. Because if it was online, I would have mopped everybody.
Yo,
right?
Yo,
I would have bodied everybody with my strategies and the board I got set up. Nobody beating me, bro.
Yo, I feel like I mastered Fort Condor,
baby.
yo. Especially like towards the end. Once I got the final board from my man Chadley. Yo, I feel like it just became mad easy after that. I was like, yo, this is light work now, man.
Did you beat it on hard mode yet?
Yeah, I beat everything. I put all of it on my channel. Well, not all of it for the hard modes, but I put the final. I feel like
I just got the box mini game, the 50,000 left. I got that one left, and in Vice, and that's it. That's the only 2 trophies that I'm missing.
Yeah,
I'm at 93%.
Yeah, the box one takes a while, but once you master the pattern as far as wherever your box is at, you're gonna be good.
Yeah, and Vice, I ain't gonna spoil anything, but he is fucking hard, bro. Like that motherfucker. I haven't beat him yet. I've only fought him a couple times because I gotta set up my when you go into Vice. You really gotta set up your materials, man. Like you really gotta know, like fight him a couple times. It's gonna take you a couple times to learn his different patterns and different forms. But that motherfucker does not stop, bro. He does not stop, bro. He just keeps going, and he has a couple moves that you need. Oh, you're gonna need reprieve, bro. It don't matter if your HP's at 999.
Oh yeah, he cooked.
Yeah, he is fucking crazy, yo. But he's fun as shit though, and his intro scene, yo, that shit is crazy, bro. Like what he says and shit like that, like, yo, you're gonna love Weiss, man. They did a real good job with Weiss. They did a real good job with all of the new bosses. I loved all of them. I loved Nero, was pretty epic. You know, Scarlet was pretty good. So
yeah, I'm gonna definitely go in on that soon. I just got to get there. I'm enjoying replaying the game. And
yeah,
like I'm enjoying like leveling up materia as well. So I'm just leveling up materia, and I'm just when I get there, I'm gonna get it. 'Cause right now I'm with Aerith. I just made the Aerith. I'm about to fight Rude, and
yeah,
and I get to Weiss, man.
Weiss is in chapter 17. Once you get to chapter 17,
I can't wait to do that video for real.
Yeah, you get a new cutscene with what's his name, Charlie, and shit like that. But it's a lot of fun, man. You're gonna really love Weiss, man. You're gonna love him. You're gonna be like, damn, I wish he comes back.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely fight that dude like mad times for sure. Bring Tifa for Weiss. Yeah, I mean, like when it comes to like some of the hard, Tifa is like the she's like the DPS. She definitely does the damage. But really and truly, like Tifa, I like to have a style. But when I'm in my try hard mode, I be having Barret and Aerith. Because Aerith, she has some stuff that you're pretty much like you can't be touched sometimes, man. Like that Luminous shield is cheap. She has the arcane wind where you can do 2 magic at once. But I definitely we'll see how Weiss fights. Like if I'm going to be super aggressive, then I'm going to have a Tifa, but we'll see how he fights.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you now. You're probably gonna need Aerith on your team. Cause she has some of the stuff you mentioned, some of the tools. It's gonna really help out, like the double arcane.
Yeah, because I would have like Barret and I have Aerith and like that arcane wind, and sometimes I'm like, okay, we're gonna heal, right? And some you don't have like magnify every character, so Aerith really helps with that sometimes. You know, and you wanna balance your MP. So I was like, oh, put that on Barret. Your Barret heal up. He's casting that jump twice, and I don't have to spend the Curaga. I can just spend the Cura, and I mean that saved me a little.
I would put revive though. I would put revive on every character though.
Oh yeah, that big boss fights here. Revive is definitely on there for sure. And that's one thing that was dope about like Sonon or Yuffie. Like, yo, when Yuffie's down, Sonon was like, no, you're gonna continue. I got you. Boom. Yo, that jump.
Yeah, he was a freaking down.
Yo, when I first fought Pride and Joy, yo, that came in so clutch for me. I was like, oh shit, shout out to my man Sonon, yo. Because when I put the boss fight on my channel, that's the first time I'm fighting him. You know what I mean? So I was just like, yo, all right. You know what I mean?
Only thing I don't like about hard mode is that you can't use any item. Now, I would be cool if you can't use any healing items or Phoenix Down or even Ether and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
But like, cause I did a build where it's like I put like with Barret, like in normal mode, like I have Barret, and then I put the item material on where like it enhances the items and equip them with a bunch of grenades. And yo, those grenades are actually strong. Those grenades are actually powerful.
Oh,
you
yeah,
throw grenades and shit like that. You're like, you can throw a grenade. I'm actually going to try to do a melee build with Barret, but you can't do that in hard. That's the only thing. Is like, you can't use any item in hard.
Yeah,
it should have just been like no healing items. That's it.
Hard, like what you call it, come in play like when you leveling up your weapons and picking what weapon come in play a lot, because there's times where, like, yeah, you can't use ether or nothing like that, but I have like MP absorb, or I'll use certain moves that will give me MP. You know what I mean? You just gotta I get you sometimes, like, damn, I wish I could have used this ether mega ether or whatnot, or this
no, I'm not. But that's the thing, it's like, no, I don't want them to be allow us to use any items as far as healing items.
Oh, you just want to use the
I just want to use
attack.
like the grenades and shit.
Yeah. Cause you had like 99 of them joints right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the only thing. It's like, yo, okay, no healing items, no magic replenish items. I'm cool with that because you can set yourself up like, you know, like you saying MP absorb, or you get the prayer materia leveled up. You can heal everybody with no, you know, there's different strategies to go around that and shit like that. Nobody, like, that's nothing, but it's like, damn, I can't use like the grenades, I can't use that and shit like that. It's like, nah, it's like, you need I hope they address that.
Yeah, I mean, you can put parry on any character, but Tifa she just have that like that dash cancel.
She's the best one. Yeah, she's the best one. And Cloud and Tifa are the best ones with parry.
Oh yeah.
Barret, he does his little shoulder dash that makes him like if you make a melee build from Barret, like you get like the parry, and then you get like the steel skin. The steel skin.
Yeah, and you can ignore attacks.
Yeah, he was straight up no attacks and no bear to do any damage to you. So you build him like a tank. That's what I'm saying. It's like, yo, and then part 2 is gonna have more characters and more materials and shit like that. It's gonna get crazy. Yeah, this combat system is gonna be amazing. They fixed the jumping with Yuffie, because now like you can recall yourself to the to her ninja star. You can stay in the air with Yuffie. You can stay in the air forever. Like she has infinite air combos.
That's
like if you keep like recalling your star and shit like that, you have infinite air combos.
Yeah, I be looping these fools, man. I be looping. Yeah, especially not like the big bosses, but some of these like the minier kind of enemies. Like that bird enemy. Yo, oh my, when I have that motherfucker staggered, oh, he's going in the air. I'm taking you for a ride. You're gonna get all the max damage.
Oh yeah, the air juggle combos and stuff like that. The only thing for like part 2 that I want them to add as well is having different abilities that you can do in the air, because there's like really no abilities you can do in the air.
Oh, like magic or anything like that. Or like a special, like I could wish like you can cancel Buster. What you call it? Not Buster Slash. What's the first joint he has? Damn, well, I can't remember.
Braver.
Now. Yeah, Braver. Like if you could do like a cloud
in the air,
he does like 2-3 slashes. They cancel Braver in the air and just put them down. Yo, King Kisa, what's up, man? Yo, First Scorpio, what's up? Are you playing through hard mode for the first time? Yo, enjoy that, man. Enjoy that. Yeah, I remember when I booted up hard mode for the first time, yo, and I was like, okay, like not having to use the materials, I mean the items, that's definitely gonna be a different, cause you being very like cognizant as far as what you can use, when you can use your magic. You can't be like OP with it, you know what I mean? You gotta use it wisely.
Yeah, and you can restore your health at benches, right?
Yeah, with
So you don't
magic.
gotta use magic, but you can't. But your magic, your MPs doesn't replenish at all.
Yeah,
So
you gotta finish that story. I mean the chapter or whatnot before it replenishes. Yeah, no items.
yeah, but abilities in the air is definitely gonna. I think they definitely need that for part two. Being able to cancel into abilities while you're in midair.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, I love the combat for 7, man. It's just gonna get better and better. Cause I can see already getting better with intermission. So I'm excited for part 2, man. I'm excited for part 2. But yeah, yo, we can get up out of here, Chris, man. If you have anything to say, we'll get up out of here.
Nah, man. Just I know me, man. Big Final Fantasy fanboy, and I can't wait. I can't wait for 16 and part 2 to come out. So whenever they come out, but they're gonna be amazing games, especially. So and they're gonna be because they're PlayStation PS5 exclusive games, right? The development is going to be a lot better, and they're going to be able to do more and shit like that. So I think these games are definitely going to be huge, both of them when they come out. And I think Final Fantasy is back, baby. If you were a fan of like SquareSoft back in the day with Final Fantasy, I think they're definitely having a renaissance right now. They definitely got their head out the ass as far as the Japanese development.
Yep.
So, but other than that, man, shit, man. Like I said, like I'm gonna beat this Vice. I'm actually gonna play them today. And that's it, man. Just check me out on Twitter and check out my channel.
Yo, Chuck, what's good, bro? Shout out to my man Chuck in the bill. Yo, Walter, what's up? Yo, Rox is asking how's the Kingdom Hearts marathon going?
Oh yeah, I'm about to start part 2 today. Because I already watched because I couldn't do so I completely dropped Chain of Memories.
Chain of Memories. I think everybody.
I couldn't do the car. It's to me, it's like they made basic attacks use up cards, and you have to like. That's like the things that because Roxas he was telling me he was like, yeah, it's different, but if you stick with like, nah, dude, I'm sorry, like I can't. I just watch the shit on YouTube, to bridge the gap between 1 and 2, because that's what the story is of Chain of Memories, right? Is to bridge between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So
Chain of Memories story is amazing though, like. You know what I mean? Like when I was playing Chain of Memories again for PS3 and PS4, I was like, yo, how did I play this game when I was a kid, man? Because the card system, yeah, I get what it was doing and it worked well with like a handheld, but now playing that now, like on a controller, I'm like, it's definitely something like you gotta just like, you know what? Let me just suck it up. But there's so much other games to play. Like, yo, should I suck that? I know the story already. Like, should I really do it? Like. They were like, nah, yeah, because I know me. I was like, nah, I will play this another day, another time. I already know the Chain of Memory stories that I never went back to because I was like, yo, I don't really like the battle system. Like,
and I like 1. Like I played one final, like I beat 1 like when it first came out, right? But I forgot like most of it. Mm-hmm. But playing through it again, and yeah, I mean, it was some of the stuff was outdated. Like the movement was a little wonky, and the platforming and the camera and shit like that. But for the most part, I felt like it aged pretty well. I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely was more surprised than I thought. Was like the different moves and like you can parry it and like you can collision each hit, like and shit like that. Like that shit that's like even modern day action games aren't even doing that Kingdom Hearts was doing back in the first one. So. But everybody says like 2 it gets even crazier, like as far as like the combat and shit like that. So I can't wait.
2 is still my favorite game. That's like my favorite. That's like my second favorite game all time. Kingdom Hearts 2. I know that game ins and out everything, bro. That game.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to like playing like. The only thing that turned me off from Chain of Memories is the card system, but everything else I'm definitely looking like I know because I like 3 and I like 1, so. If the other ones are like has the same action and just as good and have good characters or whatever, I know I'm gonna enjoy most of them. So
yeah, and some of the bosses in Enchanted Memories was annoying. Like remembering as a kid, like yeah, I hated fighting against Larxene, the electric chick, the electric one. I thought she was annoying. Axel wasn't that annoying. And then, but you gonna fight against what's it called at the end? The dude with the scythe.
Nah, I'm not fighting against any of that shit.
Marluxia, yo, when you fight, yo, I remember fighting this dude, yo, in Jeep, Game Boy. I was like, yo, man, I don't know. Like I said, when I think back, I'm like, yo, how did I do this as a kid, yo? But but the kid, you didn't give a fuck about that. He's like, yo, I'm just playing the game. I want to play. You know what I mean? But yo, I remember some of these boss fights.
Yeah, I just beat the genie, or was it the Jafar genie?
Oh yeah. Jafar. I think that was. Did you beat like the third boss? I think.
Yeah, that's it. And then I'm like, yo, I can't do this shit, bro. I can't do this shit.
Yeah, yo.
That's when I was like, I can't.
Marlexia, yeah, yo, that dude right there, yo, no, yo, he's annoying, and cause you can fight him in 3 and all that as well. He's annoying. You can find him. I think you can find him in 2 as well with the data boss fights. So you can fight what's your name? So you can fight dude, the I don't know why I can't remember these names. We talking about Kingdom Hearts now, but yeah, so the Organization 13 fights, man, whoo, annoying. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the take points. Yeah, the take points in Kingdom Hearts 1. I was like, damn, it's like, yo, there's other action games that are not even doing this shit. Like, if you swing at the right time, you can like.
Oh yeah.
You know,
that's key.
Tech somebody's attack and shit like that. You could take any magic attack or whatever. I think except lightning, right? Like, that shit was crazy. I was like, oh shit.
Key, yo, like learn the tech. Like I feel like Kingdom Hearts 1, when you block, when you learn to block, like actually blocking the moves is really good as well. That could save you out of a lot of stuff instead of dodging. A lot of people just like to dodge. Like fighting against Riku, like blocking is key with this dude. But
nah, trust me, I went into I was getting pissed off. I went into Ultra Instinct mode at like the last you know, the end of world, like the last like level where you go through that gauntlet, and it's just like, yo, they throw like 20 of those gargoyle enemies at you and shit like that. I was like, oh shit. And they all disappear, and then they swirl you around and shit like that. Like
Zora, that was a boss. Yo, one of my most hated boss fights in Kingdom Hearts is young Xehanort. Oh my god. Yo, wait till you play Birth by Sleep, bro. Yo,
I'm gonna play through all of them.
Yeah, that is a fight right there, man. But yeah, Yozora, oh my goodness, bro. Sure, don't bring it back, man. I mean, it wasn't that far away. It was just like the DLC, but sheesh. And people was like, "Yo, 3 is too easy." I go play that DLC in 3, man. Remind DLC, yo, play that. Yo, young Xehanort will body you so quick. Yeah, it's not even funny, yo. It's not even funny. But yeah, we'll get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody coming through, man. Like I say, you know, we have these specific streams. Final Fantasy VII Remake. When we get more news, you know what I mean? You know the vibes is going to get booted up. You know what I mean? But I'm super excited for part 2. Excited for 16. Let's give me the news, man. Can't wait to play it. But yeah, guys, I'll catch you in the next stream. Boy J Barry, my man Chris Rice is in here. And we gone. Deuces.